Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Vibes only, psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama. Vibes only, psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Good Vibes, Thick Thighs. I am your host, Gemini 211, aka Bad Bitch Energy, and I am here with my co-host.
It's Roxy, aka Intuitive Rocks.
And she's still a whole what?
I'm still a whole fiance, believe it or not, a tired as fuck fiance, a stressed as
Oh my
fuck
God.
fiance.
The timeline is coming
I know, dude, halfway there.
closer and
Less than
closer.
halfway there. A lot of big things happening, obviously. I mean, season 4, this is episode 5. And we told you all we were going to do big things for season 4. And as you saw, our back-to-back guests have been phenomenal. And, you know, we're now on YouTube.
YouTube, we're YouTubers.
Yeah. So welcome to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you go. I think she's always wanted to say that.
I know. Yes, mark that off the bucket list. But yes, we are now on YouTube officially. We have Good Vibes Thick Thighs podcast channel on YouTube, which also includes some of our video episodes. So make sure to subscribe and follow for more.
There you go. Look at you. She's such a YouTube guru, dude. She's hired.
I've been waiting for this moment. No. But speaking of social media, by the time you guys all listen to this episode, it would have already been a week since it's came out, the Threads app. Here we are thinking we were like on it, but the podcast Threads page is like 3 million something to join. And I'm like, what the fuck? This group.
Literally, she messaged me and was like, the Threads app, I just joined it and I'm number 3 million and something to join the Threads app. So here we are thinking we're on top of our social media game and we're 3 million in line.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we're still on it. I mean,
true. So go follow us on Threads.
Yes, because we're definitely going to post some. We were just talking about it. We feel that's going to be a platform where we could definitely communicate easier with you all.
For sure.
Like it just flows. Hopefully, it doesn't bomb. It doesn't.
Yeah, with so many people starting to get it and learn and use it. Yeah, true.
Because I know it's similar to Twitter, but I never got into Twitter. I couldn't.
I was a Twitter junkie when it first came out. And then after that, I'm like, too much to keep up with.
I think I was.
But I love that the Threads app is all about like communication. It's not so much focused on pictures. So like you could just speak your mind, speak your voice. I keep seeing a lot of in my Threads feed, it's a lot of like introverts coming out now, social anxiety, like, so you don't have to post your pictures, but you could speak your truth and speak your mind. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. So definitely check us out. It's the same username we have on Instagram. And since we're all about self-promoting right now in this episode, we're going to go ahead and say it. Drea with her Gemini 211 company. she's a female business owner, entrepreneur. I could never say that word like smoothly.
Entrepreneur.
Sounds like bougie when I say like
literally.
But yeah, it was pointed out to us. We don't promote ourselves. We promote all these people. We promote all these small businesses. We're all about women empowerment. We're all about like, hey, follow this plan, like, sharing our sharing our community with everybody. But yet, like, we're forgetting ourselves, like in the process.
Literally.
So here we are. We're gonna take a moment and just be selfish and talk about ourselves. So go ahead, Dre.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you don't know, I am Gemini 211. I do tarot cards, mediumship, Reiki, all things spiritual. You can always book appointments on my website, gemini211.com. And you can follow me on Instagram and chat through Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff. But yeah, I do cards for a living full time. It's fun.
She goes on live on TikToks too.
Yep. Live on TikTok. That's a whole nother story. We have to talk about that one day.
So yeah, there you go. And she's now on Threads.
Now I'm on Threads. Yeah. Let's try to keep up.
So with me, being the baby brujita, I do Oracle energy card readings. I'm featured in Hey Hero, which is an app slash website which holds like a bunch of psychics, mediumship, spiritual coaches, and stuff like that, sharing their businesses and stuff. So I am on there. That is on my Instagram bio link. I also do numerology and a little bit of tarot. So I don't know, you too. We've had a couple listeners already reach out to us for readings.
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out to them because we haven't even promoted on an episode, and yet there they are. So we appreciate you guys. But yeah, we're always available. I know we always say it at the end of our episodes that we're available. Instagram, DM us, email us, all that good stuff. But now you know our services that you could hit us up for and let us work with you.
Exciting. Which gets into our topic of today, spirituality and tarot. I love this topic.
I know. You loved it so much, we're doing it twice. Well, the tarot part.
Tarot part. To a certain extent. So if you didn't listen to, if this is your first time, go back to season 1. We have I don't even remember what the theme of it is, but
Oracle to Tarot, I think.
From Oracle to Tarot on season 1. And it's all about the difference between Oracle cards, tarot cards, readings, all that stuff. So go check that one out after this episode. But I kind of just wanted to touch on this topic, not so much exactly how to do tarot and things like that, but just kind of the understanding and concept behind it. Because even this morning, Roxy was like, what is the comment that you said that being Hispanic, like what was the comment? I know it has nothing to do with tarot, but I'm going to incorporate it with tarot.
So like our culture itself had many of us in chokehold with the belief system we were raised in without being able to like expand or open ourselves up to new ideas and new things. Like even as a child, I remember watching I think it was an episode of Seven Heaven or one of those family episodes or something where it was like one of their kids wanted to like venture out to a new religion and so they looked into like Buddhism, they looked into this. And I was like, how cool would that be to explore new religions? Me as a Catholic going to church every Sunday type of girl. But I never had like the ganas or like the like guts to go and do that because of the chokehold I didn't realize I was on. I had.
Yeah, it's that what I've been talking about on TikTok, if you follow me on TikTok, is the generational like cords that we have to be able to break. And I think in some of our episodes this season, we talked about breaking those generational like tradition codes, whatever you want to call them, that are toxic. And I feel like it's the same with spirituality and tarot. Like, remember back in the days, like I remember like messing with tarot, like as a kid, like maybe like junior high or something, high school. And it was like a secret, right? Or like, I don't know, even like in my early like 20s, and I would go get my cards read by somebody because like my friends would be like, oh, there's a psychic place, like let's just run in there and get our cards read. And it was such a secret. Like you'd come out and be like, oh my God, this is what she told me. It was like, if I tell you what she told me, it's not going to come true. If I tell you what she told me, like
like when you're making a wish right before you blow out your birthday candles.
and now like I feel like, holy shit, the veil opened, and I think it's during COVID when everybody came into that fear moment of life of, oh my God, we're all going to die. Oh my God, the world's coming to an end during COVID. And then they reached out to healers, tarot readers, psychics to be like, what's going to happen? Am I going to get my job back? Is this going to end? Am I going to be okay? Like, and that was it. All it took was for you. And I feel like for all of us, if you think about your first time getting a tarot reading or an oracle reading, you're like, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't as scary as I thought. Like, how was your first experience?
So my first experience was getting tarot read was on the Santa Monica Pier. There was a lady with a table, and I had always been intrigued. And the ex that was there was the abusive one that I was with. He's like, go ahead and get him read. And I was like, at that point, I still was like a huge person that was like, I don't believe it. There's a bunch of fake people, blah, blah, blah. Like all they want is their money type of thing. Right. And so he paid her, I don't know what it was, like maybe like $25 or something for a 3-card spread, which at the time I didn't know it was a 3-card spread. All I know is like 3 for 25. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So she asked like, what do you want? What do you want answered? And I was like, just tell me whatever comes out. Like, because I didn't want to give her anything, you know, like any idea to run off with, you know. So I said, just tell me anything I need to hear. And then she told me that my love was so pure. So I knew it was bullshit because at that point I was already like knowing this was not the relationship for me. And I think she said something about my job, that this job is very good for me. And look at me now, 2 jobs later, like not at the same job. Like, so everything she had said was like, didn't manifest, I guess. Which brings me to another question. Since you've been in this like industry longer and like your knowledge is way broader than mine. I mean, we talk about free will, but I guess like if let's say you pull cards and the person's like, oh, that's not going to happen, can they not allow it to happen?
Yes, 100%. So with tarot, like your tarot reading can change every fucking day from the morning to the nighttime because of free will, right? So like your cards could sit and say, hey, you're going to get this job offer. But maybe the person who's in charge of your job fucking got a hair up their ass and they're like, fuck her, I don't want to hire her. I'm going to hire Uncle Sam here. Like out of free will, right? Like they're just like, maybe they were intimidated by you. Maybe you're pretty and they're like, she's pretty in their head. Like she's pretty and she's going to come here and not, she's going to talk too much. So I'm just going to hire Uncle Sam here. Free will. They took their free will. So now your cards that were read that said, hey, you're getting this job is now wrong because somebody else's free will. And that's what I feel like people forget because they're like, oh my God, I got my cards read and they said this relationship was going to work. Yeah, it was at the moment, but there's free will. Also, what I've been very much so learning and just realizing is, you know, like when we talked about manifesting with Maddie Kelly. And we manifest. I was scrolling through TikTok the other day and I seen this girl, like, I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see all these tarot readers say, abundance is coming. You're going to get this money. And she's like, where the fuck is it? Because I'm waiting, right? I'm starting to realize even when you manifest, when you do tarot cards, free will, it's all energy, right? So like, if you're like angry all the time, if you're depressed, if you're drunk, drinking, if you're doing things against love and light, don't expect that manifestation thing because you're not living the lifestyle that you should be living for it. And it's kind of crazy because I look at it like God, right? Like when we pray, you don't pray right now and say, God, I my rent's not going to be paid today. I need the money. And he's like, boom, here's the money in your bank account in 2 seconds. And I feel like people's concept of manifesting and tarot is like, they expect like now the miracle. They expect now the answers. Now, yes, tarot can give you the answers, but it's also a tool how to get yourself out. So yeah, so tarot's going to say, hey, this relationship is not going to work, right? Okay, cool. It's a tool for you to say, how do I get myself out of this? Mm-hmm. What do I need to do to get myself out? But free will is so fucking strong. Like it is so strong because just think of like you go out to the store and somebody cuts you off on the street or somebody cusses you out. Like if you're in a good mood, you're like, whatever, cuss me out. But if you're like edgy already, you're like, fuck you too. Like, why'd you cut me off? Or you know what I mean? And then there goes the free will where your energy just like, you just ruin. So I really feel like when you get tarot cards, when you get readings, like intake it all and make the adjustments energetically. But things can change all the time, literally all the time.
Yeah, that's true. And the whole manifestation thing, just recently on my Intuitive Rocks Instagram account, I posted on my story a post from this Instagram page that I follow, which like I love their vibe and energy. Their handle is Educated Chingona.
Oh, nice.
And they had posted on their page something that said, I manifested this, but I also put in the fucking work.
Exactly. See,
and I shared it to the story and I was just like, this right here, this is it. Like we put in so much work in the podcast. And I feel like after a year, we're finally seeing like the rewards that are coming with it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And now with the YouTube channel, like breaking off and like popping off and like the threads that we thought, you know, we're semi up. Yeah, at least we went on the first day.
Yep.
Like I see it, like it's fucking work to manifest the shit you want. Like it's not just like universe, like bless me with abundance, like all these tarot readers are telling me, but I'm gonna sit on my ass all day and watch TV.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like people don't understand. So it's like when I see posts like that where they're like, where the fuck is it? Well, like you ain't gonna get it at that level of energy, you ain't gonna get it,
Yeah.
but it could come in other ways. And I feel like that's what we forget. It could come in something so easy where like, hey, for a whole week, they didn't send you that past due bill. You got that whole week to not have to see it in your face more. Like it's little things that you have to be grateful for. But I will tell you, with tarot, like a lot of people think it's like there's no religion behind tarot. It's just a spirituality. There's no like Catholic, Christian, Buddha, Islam. There's nothing, there's no religion connected to it. So any religion could fuck with tarot and anything. It's funny because I never pull cards for my family ever. Like just live life and let life happen the way life is supposed to happen. And my daughter's like kind of in a situation and she begged and begged, like, Mom, please just pull my cards. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. So I pulled cards and I was just gonna do like a voice recording of her, like send a picture and be like blah 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 through the voice.
Yeah.
I call her, she didn't answer. I'm like, bro, we need to talk. So I'm pulling tarot and I'm like, you already know there's no limits or boundaries with tarot. So why the fuck did you not tell me your situation was this fucked up? And she just bawled,
Oh my
bawled,
God.
bawled.
That's crazy.
Yep. So I feel like, what's meant for you is meant for you to make adjustments. I look at tarot not in a negative. I look at it as adjustments. Like, what are you going to tell me that I need to make an adjustment for? What are you going to tell me that's wrong that I need to fix? And what are you going to compliment me on? So, like, just doing tarot to just be like, what can I expect? Cool. I have to expect I'm going to be a broke ass for a month. Hey, I have to expect an argument between me and my husband. Hey, on the good thing, your business after 2 months is going to do really good. Like, I just feel like it's tools to help you become the better version of you. And I think, like, I don't know, if you look at your life right now, like just through us starting our spiritual journey, starting the podcast, all that, like, how does your energy feel now that you've done tarot, you've done oracle? Like, do you feel lighter? Do you feel like you use a lot of what you've learned in your everyday life? Like,
I feel like you're asking me at the wrong time because yesterday, let me tell you, I was having a moment. I texted Drea the same like her daughter did, like, pull my cards. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm on the verge of tears. Like, this stress is no joke. Just pull my fucking cards. I need to know. But she didn't.
yeah, I was treating you like my kids. Like, nope, let life happen. Nope, let it be.
I started thinking yesterday when I was having my moment, I was starting thinking like, this is the mindset some people have when they get addicted to tarot. Like they just want the confirmation. They want the like pat on the back, like you've gone on the right path, like they want the like, I don't know, they just don't want to walk the path alone because we're only human. We want that human connection. We want to be with someone and we like it takes a village type of scenario and all that. Like spiritual awakening can get very lonely at the beginning because you're trying to find your where you're at, what you're supposed to do, which is why people go into like getting cards read weekly, daily, whatever it is, because they just want like, okay, tell me what to do now. Okay, tell me what to do now, So I feel like yesterday with my mindset of just pull my fucking cards and tell me what to do, it was like, fuck, now I know what people go through when they're like, okay, or when they come back with the same question. Okay, can you do it again? Like, let me see if it's different this time.
Okay, but look, that's a good point because I have people on TikTok and I just have like my regulars who like people are like that are in your situation or my daughter's situation where, okay, here's the cards. This is what it tells you. Okay. Now it's up to you to do the work, to fix the problems. And you could check in and I usually say, check in when you feel better, check in when you feel worse. If everything's just going, you're good. But if you're starting to feel better, then let tarot tell you, let spirit tell you, hey, kudos on this. Hey, kudos on that. Or if you're feeling like shit, let's pull cards and let tarot say, hey, dude, you're focusing on the wrong area. Like that's not what you're supposed to be focusing on. Go back. I feel like the check-ins, that's spiritual growth. Like that's the tool of tarot to get you to be the better version of yourself. And that's where I feel like the misconception comes in with tarot, where people are like, oh my God, don't get your cards read. You don't know your future. It's not so much your future. It depends on who reads you. Like, it's not so much your future. It's how to become a better version of you.
Like you said, like when you started this off, it's the tools. Here's the tools, DIY your life.
Literally. And I can't, I mean, I have two handfuls, if not three handfuls of people that I could say that are genuinely like check in with cards weekly, bi-weekly, like always checking in. Where am I? What do I need to know? Where am I? What do I need to know? And there's some that it's like, fuck, the cards are just like abundance, 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 wheel of fortune, money. Like, goddamn. But when I first read you, dude, all your cards are reversed. Fucked up. You're in a fucked up relationship. You need to leave it.
Yeah. I've had that too. One of someone came asking me to pull cards, and I remember a card that I didn't like came out, and I was like, "Oh no, did it freeze?" That was weird.
I know. Today's 7/7, so.
I know. I was about to share a story, and it fucking cut off. So I guess I'm not supposed to share that story. So let's move on. Literally, I opened my mouth to share a story, and it fucking froze both ends. Where I'm just like, "You keep smiling, but this isn't a smiling story."
It's all part of patience and not being in control.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at life, because I've been doing a lot of self-reflection this last week because I've been tested, and I feel like through our journey and through our spiritual journey, like through the podcast, learning things, talking to people, and taking all this information, I don't think realistically we see the growth within ourselves until we're put into situations or circumstances where we have to be like, let me use the tools that we learned in season 2 with Chinhee or with Jaren. Like, I feel like we have all this knowledge now, and we're continuing to be like, we're both work in progress. But I feel like if you look at your journey now through tarot, through spirituality, whatever we've been doing, and you look at how far you've come, if you really could release the control of life, like just controlling situations, you began to elevate, like how I keep saying, like, it's crazy because I was never that person to say energy is everything. I'm like, yeah, kind of to a certain extent. Now I'm like, no, fucking everything is literally energy. And if we're not on the same wavelength, it's not meant to be, right? Whether you're my kid, my mom, my dad, whatever, like we're on different frequencies. And I definitely feel like through tarot can give you that guidance to the frequency that you need to be on. So telling you, hey, you're going to have an argument with your sister. You're not supposed to apologize. It's her lesson to learn. So she has to apologize to you. And if she doesn't apologize to you, then the relationship is going to be done. Right. And I feel like for some people, if you're not on that level of healing, you're going to take that as a, like, what? That's my sister. What do you mean we're not going to be friends again? What? Like, so I feel like it's like even just manifesting good energy for yourself and understanding, like, we're not going to always be in control of our lives. Like, what happens especially when it comes to other people, you can control yourself and your own destiny, but you cannot control like actions, thoughts, things of other people. That I just feel like it's all energy, like learning the lessons.
And I think it was mentioned last week's episode with Lindsay Eastburn, where she made a mention, I forgot what she called it, but it's basically like something not happening your way is because it's like making moves, because it's not supposed to happen for your way to make moves for maybe something greater, maybe something that's meant for you. And as upset as we could be because something we wanted to manifest didn't come to us, like there's a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm. There always is. But I feel like sometimes it's the other person's lesson, like in relationships, right? Like you could love somebody so much, but they're so toxic for you and you know that. And sometimes as women, right, we don't want to leave that relationship. We want them to leave us because it's just like easier to be dumped, or I don't know what the thoughts behind it. But I feel like sometimes like it's not meant for us to be heartbroken. It's like maybe we need to take that initiative and be like, dude, you're fucking toxic and I have to leave this relationship, and let that person learn the lesson of, damn, you just fucking broke up with me. Like I'm in control and you just fucking took that control away from me. And I think that we forget sometimes, like the lessons are sometimes for other people around us. It's not always like, hey, Roxy, you're a bad person. Hey, Roxy, you need to learn. Hey, Roxy, learn this. Hey, Roxy, learn that. Like people around, we're meant to teach other people lessons too. I think I'm meant to teach Roxy patience, because today, like my patience and my control, I really am just like, let the universe deal with it. Like, yeah, sometimes I get mad, but I don't get mad. Like I was telling my daughter, like the old version of me to certain messages and arguments that I'm having within my family right now, the old me would pop off and be like, you fucking dumb bitch, don't fucking talk to me like that. Like you got shit fucked up. Today, I'm like, sorry you feel that way, but if you're not vibing on my frequency, like this doesn't make it, it makes me, there's no anger anymore. Like all I could respond was like, sorry that you're not on my same frequency. Like if this message towards me was intended to make me mad or hurt, I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Like
I think,
zero.
and then you feel so like this empowered, like you look back at yourself in that moment, because I have an argument that, not an argument, because honestly, I wasn't arguing. I like, okay, you felt like I was wrong. I'm sorry for my actions, fixed them. No need to carry on with it.
Right.
But they kept pushing, pushing, pushing. And I was like, I'm being tested. This is not me. Okay, are you done talking? Like, have you let it all out? Like, you look back at that moment and you're like, damn, who the fuck was that? Like,
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I think to myself, like, what did I even do? It's not like I sat here every day and was like, this is what you're doing good. This is what you're doing bad. This is what you're doing good. This is what you're doing bad. It's kind of just like magic. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like we just changed, like without even realizing our mindsets change.
yeah.
And even like my husband is just like, dude, you're so cold-hearted. It's not even that. Like I just, you're not on my same wavelength. Like we're not on the same page of life. So if you're still angry and you have hatred and you haven't healed yourself, like you can't nitpick at me no more. Like my walls, like spirit, just like that's not who you are. Like we're here to spread love. So like if you want to talk love and you want to be nice to each other, cool. Like if not, then peace out. Bye. Hopefully one day we could be friends again. Hopefully we could talk. I don't know, but like it's just the beauty of tarot and spirituality when you get to this level where you're just happy and at peace.
Where you're left unbothered.
110%.
And
I want every single one of our listeners to be on that wavelength or that frequency where you are just at peace. And it doesn't even mean at peace with like you have all this money and you have, if you think about like Jesus, like spiritual, right? Or you think about big spiritual people, they don't have these big ass houses. Nobody cares about the big houses and the big cars. That's like materialistic here on earth, because when you die, your soul does not take your fucking Bentley and your freaking $700,000 house and your Louis Vuitton purses. Like none of that goes.
yeah.
None of that goes. And I feel like we all need to just be realistic and happy with what we have, where we're at, learn, utilize spirituality and tarot to help you grow into a bigger, better person than you once were. Self-love.
So with tarot, like, is there a moment you should not go out and seek answers through tarot?
Only if you're trying to fuck with somebody's free will, right? So if you come to me and you're like, pull cards on Dan because he left me and I want to know what he's doing. Nah, that's not the point of tarot. In order to pull tarot on like another person and their life, the tarot reader, if they're a true tarot reader, you know you can't fuck with somebody's energy like that without their consent. I could pull cards on your relationship because you're saying, hey, are me and Bob going to work out? Well, I'm pulling energy on you because you have I have your consent with Bob. But if you there go tell me, hey, pull cards on Bob, I just want to know, like, is he okay? What is he doing? Like, no, that's his free will. Like, let him worry about his life and his energy and his free will. So if you're trying to pull cards for anybody to do harm, to know about what's going on in their everyday life, and they're not there to get their cards read, that's a no. Ask away.
I've had those instances. Well, then again, I've had instances where like they're asking if they're the issue. Would you pull cards for like, hey, like we're having this, whatever. They did this. Is it because of me?
Yeah, well, I would generalize it and just say, okay, tarot, what is the energy of this relationship? What does this relationship need to grow? What does this relationship need to know at the moment? I wouldn't specifically say, hey, tarot, is Karen the problem here? No, because tarot's not like a finger pointer, like you're the issue. You have, it's more like, here's the problem, let's fix it. Let me open your eyes to like, this is the situation and this is the problem that needs to be addressed.
Now, since we're speaking of tarot specifically, There's a lot to it. There's a lot of like it ties with everything. It ties with numerology, it ties with astrology, it ties with elements. So let's break it down basically. Like a normal 52 card deck, the tarot deck has, suits, right?
Yeah.
It has the cups,
Yep.
the wands, the swords, and the pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a reading of just swords, what would be the overall energy of that reading?
So look at swords as like war, right? What do you do with the sword? You go to war and you battle. So swords are always going to be a battle, a challenge, something that you have to go through. What does your mindset tell you?
For swords?
Yeah.
So I was saving this question for like the end about like what's one tarot card you would see that represents you or that you have this full connection with. And though I'm not going to say it yet because we're going to discuss it afterwards, but mine is from the suit of cards. I mean, the suit of swords. The
Really?
suit of cards. Yeah.
I might want to guess that one.
Really? But I
Yeah.
feel like isn't okay. So swords, or maybe
Swords is always like a challenge. So like, look, when you go and like you just get a bunch of swords, it's like you're in defense mode. You're in the motion of making moves, but remembering how strong you are, remembering you are armed to be able to withhold or withstand anything that comes your way. Because what does that sword do? It defends you, right? In a war. So you have the suit. It's sometimes like being powerful in that suit of like, I have the armor. I'm ready to accomplish life. I have all I need to go to war and win this. I'm ready to go.
the element it deals with is air.
Air. Mm-hmm.
It's because I don't know, the sword suit, I feel like it doesn't have to be necessarily war in itself. It could also be like because you're starting new beginnings.
Yeah. That's why I said I want to guess what card you want. So it's like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you have the equipment to fight this war. Like you have what it takes to move forward. You have what it takes to get past any
To
obstacle.
cut shit in front of you to make way.
Exactly. So like when you pull swords with like you know how like just because you pull the death card does not mean the death card. But if you pull the death card with certain sword cards, it means the death card.
Oh.
It's usually like the 10 of swords or the king of swords that gives you all that information. But it's really though the swords is really just ideas, new direction, like self-expressions, information that's going to be given to you. Like the 3 of swords is all about heartbreak, so it's just there's a lot of information behind sword cards.
It's a lot of decision making
Too. Well, wands is like that too, but
so for the swords it broke it down into, I think,
awesome. I
where
love
it has
that.
to deal with like the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, wands, which is the fire element.
Wands is also direction, it's paths, it's movement. So wand cards could tell you a movement with a job, if you're moving your house, if there's going to be relocation of any sort. It's vision, it's your dreams, it's intuition. I really feel like with wands, it could even tell you like success and fails, in life and in your path and in your journey. If your journey or your path is about to transition, certain wand cards are about arguments and fights. I kind of like all of tarot now that we're getting deep into it. Like I love the wand deck. I love the wand. I shouldn't say wand deck, but I love wand. And it's definitely fire. The element, I definitely see like how it could be fire. What does your mindset tell you with wands?
So it's like desires, because it's not as like decision making as swords.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wands is more like I want.
Yeah. So when I see wand cards, I look at like I'm at the beginning of the path and I have like a million paths in front of me. Where am I going on this journey? Like I see wands as like a vision, as like a moving path, making changes, transitions in positive ways.
Next up is pentacles, which I feel like it's self-explanatory, where it's materialistic.
Because if you look at the deck, the pentacles is like a little coin with money. So it's external activity. It's, finding, it's all about money, how you spend it, where it's coming, how it's coming, things that are tangible. Like, are you going to spend a lot of money? Maybe there's like, hey, you need to save some money because you're spending way too much money. Hey, there's a big decision that you have to make when it comes to money. It's all about growth and yeah, tangible items. It's earth as well, the element.
Yes, it is the earth element. So like, yeah, materialistic things, possessions, achievements. It could also, some of the cards I feel like are also like indicate like the generosity you have in
Oh
sharing
yeah.
your wealth.
Yeah. I've had a reading so depth with pentacle cards or with pentacles that is like, hey, you save so much money, you have to go bless somebody with money, even if it's $20. Like go find some homeless on the side of the road and be like, here's $20 for the day. Like you need to go be generous. You need to go give to somebody who is less fortunate.
And last up in the suits is the cups, which for me, those are always emotional readings.
Yeah. Water in cards is always an emotion.
And I always related water with emotions in Oracle energy reading before I even like dove into tarot.
It's all about emotion, relationship, sex. If you're like trying to figure out somebody's cheating, you could figure that out through tarot with certain cup cards. It's a lot of your feelings, just relationships, self-love, disappointments, heart heaviness, even unity. Like if Two of Cups is like a partnership, your soulmate, your love, your person. 10 of Cups is like the
Family. Yep. I know that one. Because the year, I forgot which, I hate that I don't have the name because, you know, I'm always like this account and I'll say their name so you guys could go check them out. But I forgot what account had like a reel at the beginning of 2022. And it was all the tarot cards. And it was like, goes fast, right? And it says screenshot to see what 2022 has to offer you.
Oh, wow.
And when I screenshot, it was 10 of Cups. And that's how I know precisely what that means. And 2022 was a year that I got engaged.
Oh, wow. 10 of Cups.
So the Cups suit is like like you said, emotions, the water element, the I feel. It could bring out a lot of truth of what your heart feels.
I have this book that I reference a lot too. It's called the Tarot Bible.
Oh.
Yeah, look at all the freaking, yep.
Post-its stuff.
Post-its of things to just, I love studying tarot and I love just doing all things tarot, literally.
In each suit, there's an ace, a page, a knight, a queen,
and a king. Yeah.
Well, the ace is kind of like the start of the suit, right?
The ace is the start, and it's all about beginnings, new beginnings, endings, new opportunities. The pages is energy. So like pages could symbolize like if you're in a relationship with somebody who's immature or maybe not so, what's the word? Like strong, maybe I would want to say. It's also like just child, being young, representing like young. And then you have the knights who, if you picture a knight, they're suited and they go before the king or queen, like when you go to anywhere, right? So like they protect the king or queen. Knight also is somebody who like is not fearful. It could be somebody who's immature as well because they're not fully a king or a queen energy. So they're still kind of learning, taking baby steps. It's kind of like a somewhat immature adult energy is what it feels like. And I also feel like this is like knights are like lovers, friends, not so much a committed energy.
And then it's the queen.
I love the queen. She's dominant, especially if you're a female. If you're the queen, you're the fucking queen. You own the throne. The queens represent like mothers, being a woman, female authority, like just being in power, standing firm in your power. Any like cups of queens, wands of queens, it's all just power.
And then finally the king to end the suit.
The king is all about charisma and power again, because you're the king. So you have a lot of power. It's daily life. it's dynamics of your life and how you look at life and choices that need to be made. And it shows maturity. It shows your level of maturity, like you're just on a level of good things. If it comes in a card reading, it shows like authority, like a father figure, somebody who has control or power over you, whether it's a good power or bad power.
Okay, so those 52 cards that make up the minor arcana, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Mhm.
And those give details in the reading. And then the major arcana are the rest of the 22 cards in the deck. Those bring out like major important life moments
of life. Yeah. Yep.
And that's where you get the Tower moment, the Devil card, the Death, the World,
Yep.
Fortune, Justice card.
Yep.
The High Priestess,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like you'd pick.
Yes, I do. That's my card. And it's funny because I always pull that card. Just we vibe. In the High Priestess, we're just friends.
The High Priestess is that bad bitch energy Dres always talks
Literally.
about.
Literally.
Okay, so can you guess? So that would be your card from
That
the
would be my card.
And I knew
Yep.
I knew it.
For you, I think it would be either the King or Queen of Swords.
I like the Page of Swords.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
It gives me, okay, so when I was taking a tarot class with Esoteric Essa, aka Jasmine, who's like super dope with astrology and shit. I took her tarot class. She sent us all a tarot deck, and then we had to pick out a card to represent like the deck and all that. The first card that I pulled ever in tarot was the Page of Swords, and I connected with it so much because she wanted us like a blind reaction to the card, right? Without knowing what the wands were, what this, what that, anything. And what I wrote is that it literally, like, I found a connection because it literally reminded me of Joan of Arc, who's a saint, who from like France, I think. I remember learning about her in like 10th grade and falling in love with her story because she didn't give a fuck and she like beat the odds and wanted to like fight for the rights and shit like that, blah blah blah, like.
Yep, I could so see that with that page.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that card, and ever since then I've had such a connection with that card.
Wow, that's a cute story. That is a cute story. I have to admit, that's a cute story.
So yeah, tarot could definitely give you detailed answers, could definitely give you major life events, could definitely open up
everything
your
and anything.
Yes. Increase self-awareness that you don't even know, like open your mind up to certain things and aspects and stuff. Tarot can also be used for quick yes or no questions.
Yep.
I just wouldn't trust those lives that, yes.
I know. Literally, where people are like, one card, like, yes, one card, like, I can't. And people always come on my lives and they're like, do you do yes or no? I don't do yes or no because I feel like tarot is not used to just say yes or no. It's used as a tool to teach you. So therefore, if I say yes, I'm not giving you the tools to fix the situation. If I say no, I'm not giving you the tools to help you heal or whatever it is because now you're going to be like, you said no, it's not going to work for me. So I don't like to do yes or no questions. I like to do like, what is the outcome? Like, let me know what the outcome is. So I know what to expect.
I can't do yes or no because I want details.
Exactly. Very exactly.
Give me more.
Yes.
So that's that's our Tarot 102, since we did go through Tarot the first season. With that being said, hopefully the tools do help you with your own spiritual awakening. And before we end, we did want to bring up something that's happening currently. Everybody's seen all over TikTok.
All over TikTok.
Where when I first saw the video, I kind of skipped it because I was like, I literally thought it was Karen.
Oh my God, this girl.
So I skipped it, but then it started popping off, and I was like, what the fuck? So I went back to the original video. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about the girl on the plane.
Yeah. Plain and simple. And it's funny because Roxy's first reaction was, this is dumb or whatever, like fake skip. And then my first reaction was like, you fucking seen something spiritual that was demonic, and I see it all over your face.
So when I went back to see, we see a lot of flying videos on TikTok,
right.
where people are making a big deal, stupid shit, and I'm kind of tired of it. Like, so I skip through if I see a video inside the plane, whatever, stop being rude to the stewardess, they're doing their job type of, and I skip. Right. So I thought it was just another video like that. But then people started stitching it. People started explaining it. People started like pinpointing it. And I think what caught my attention was that someone mentioned, this girl hasn't been identified. This girl hasn't came out. This girl is fucking missing. And I was like, okay, let me go back to the original video. What the fuck did she do?
On a deeper level, if you think about things like when people bring people out into like the unknown that is real, that I feel like our government kind of knows that some shit is unreal, you get wiped out, game over. So I feel like her being like, it wasn't her objective to be famous. It wasn't her objective to call people out. It wasn't her objective to bring this to social media. It was a reality where I feel like now you put too much out there. Unfortunately, you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong interaction, that now you have to just fall off the face of the earth.
So in the video, she's screaming, like, basically saying, if you all don't want to believe me, fine, but get me off this fucking plane. Everybody's going to die type of shit. Like, but I think for me, what sold it for me was the fear you felt through her. Because when I went back to see the full video, I was like, this girl is fucking terrified.
Yeah. And like people were saying like reptilians. I don't know what that is. I didn't even research because I don't, whatever. But I really feel like that it's not so much like, okay, you know how we talk about dark spirits, like you could go to a party and you could come home with a spiritual attachment, right? I feel like this is that case where like that guy had some sort of darkness in him
that she saw. That she saw,
and like her energy picked up on that darkness and didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Like, well, it goes back to like the more you dive into your spiritual journey, the more you open up to spirituality and stuff like that, the more like in tune you are with certain energies, certain emotions, certain things, like because you're opening your mind up to the possibility of seeing things like that.
100%.
But me being the devil's advocate, I was like, what if she was the evil one? What if someone was catching on to her that she was the evil one? And so she had to be like, fuck, let me get off this plane. My cover is whatever.
I don't know, because if you look at her energy, like, because I fucking read energy, like, I feel like her energy was very, like, shocked, confused. I almost feel like she was, like, even out of body for a little bit of, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I just, like, the fear. I think that whoever she's seen was demonic possessed. It's a human. We got an attachment.
And then there's people that are like, oh, she's just drunk because look, nothing happened with people on the plane, blah, blah, blah. But then I saw this like spiritual person on TikTok replying to that, like those comments saying, well, of course, nothing was going to happen now. There was attention put on the person that she was claiming wasn't real. There was so much attention on this flight now that it altered whatever was
going to happen. Did nobody record the guy? Like nobody. You have all these videos, but nobody recorded the actual guy in the freaking hoodie.
But well, there is one where he's just staring there with a green hoodie on. But at the same time, I feel like because people on that plane are saying like she was drunk, they didn't think of anything else, like of her accusations or nothing like that, So it was easy for whatever being she saw or whatever, regardless of what she saw, like it was easy for it to just come off like, oh, she's just drunk at that time. But now that like it's blowing up on TikTok and we don't find her, like people are like, oh shit, maybe she did see something.
I think she for sure seen something. And I think it's spiritual, whether you want to call it an alien, a fucking, I don't know, like it definitely was spiritual.
But yeah, I just don't know. Is it the guy on the hoodie that she thinks is not real? Or is it one of the stewardess that she thinks is not real? Because even the stewardess were switched out from what I heard.
Really? Dang, that's like a whole different. I didn't read into it that much. I keep seeing the video and like I'll listen to a few people like, putting their 2 cents into it. But
people are dissecting this video in and out. There's people saying, look at how she points. She points like a stewardess because she's going like this, like the hand signals they use like to point out
Oh
the
my
exits.
gosh.
Like it's insane how much this video's blown up, and we still haven't heard from this girl, which is why I think plot twist, she's the one not real.
You could be right. You could be right in this. You could
Um,
absolutely be right.
this is why I feel like I try to avoid conspiracy theories with the way I overthink, because this shit will keep me up at night.
That's funny. But it's interesting, it's very interesting.
Mhm.
It goes to me, it just goes to like energy. Like you fucking seen some weird fucking thing out of the side of your eye or whatever made you feel some type of ways that you were reading the energy off of this person.
Yeah. I guess when people dissect the video, just be careful with what video you're like stitching, what video you're taking your information from. Because you and me both saw that there are people claiming to be on the fucking flight and they
Yeah.
weren't.
Yeah. I sent Roxy this post. And I didn't even catch it, but I was listening to his story and I sent it to her like, I don't know how much of this, like, I don't know. And then she comes back and she's like, he specifically says it in his description, like, this is fake. I wasn't really on the flight, but he told a story like he was sitting on this flight and paying attention to everything that was going on. And then his description was like, this is fake. I just want to see who's falling for it.
Yeah, he mentioned that. I think that's where the whole reptilian person came on, because he mentioned seeing the guy in the hoodie blink sideways.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember that.
but
Yeah. Good fun. I don't know. I'm curious to see how it pans out. It's probably going to be one of those things where it just falls off the face of the earth. Like the alien people from Las Vegas. I seen a bunch of things that now their house is completely empty. They moved out. Like the lot is completely empty. And I'm like, weird
I don't know.
shit.
It's
Weird
it's
shit.
definitely a lot to uncover and stuff. And I think this is the part of spirituality people fear of uncovering.
Yep.
But it's all what you welcome in my
Yeah.
opinion. You have like, give Shinhee shout out to her fucking energy where she's like, fuck that, my spirit guides have my fucking back, like. And I often think back to that whenever I start feeling like uneasy. I'm like, fuck that shit, like, with how many angels I have, like.
You know what's funny is that I was I went to a party a few weeks ago and we were talking about spirituality and like Santeria and things like that. And this guy was like, aren't you scared like that people are gonna do things to you? And like, no, the fuck? Like, do you know me? No.
She pops out her high priestess
Bad bitch
card.
energy. Like, are you? No. And he's like, really? And I'm like, no, like, no, I'm not. I mean, it's scary just like anything. Like,
Yeah.
you go into that fight or flight mode. So like when I'm just chilling and you catch me off guard, it's like, oof. But then I have the reality check of like exactly what you like what you said, spirit, you got my back. Like, you know how many fucking angels I have backing me? Like, you can try. You might get me down a little bit, but you're not gonna fully kick my ass.
Yeah.
So,
That's so funny.
yeah, spirituality is all what you allow it to be. It's not always as nice. Like there is like you said at the beginning, your spiritual journey brings depression, loneliness, like you're by yourself till you figure out who the fuck you are. And every single person goes through that.
For sure.
That's why we have this podcast and that's why we have amazing people on here. So when you are tapping into that spiritual journey and you feel alone and you feel lost or you feel like confused, you have a lot of shit going on, here you are. Here's the podcast to save the day.
Yep. And we're gonna have to, like, we call ourselves like your two favorite psychic mamas. We're always saying the mama's this, the mama's that. But we need a name for our fan base. We need a name for our community.
I like that.
So we're gonna put that out there and see what you guys tell us. That way we say our listeners a lot. We say our, but I wanted a unique, badass fucking like Taylor Swift has her own like fan base, and what are they called? Like Swifties or some shit? Like
Like that. Yeah, we need to name them. I'm down with that. So how about you guys send in your names and we'll do like a vote. Yeah, like if we get 5, we'll post the 5 and we'll vote them, and whatever one wins. That's cool. I like that idea.
So we unpacked a lot in this episode.
Yep.
And next week we have a special guest, and that recording in itself is unique. Because you'll catch just me at the beginning and then Drea jumps in.
I was late to the show, guys.
But what's hilarious that I didn't notice until after the fact is how Drea jumped in right in with questions and like didn't even say like, hey guys, like she like as if she was there at the party the whole time, like no break in the, like she joined the fucking meeting. It was just like go.
You know what's funny is I'm like that in person. Like I'll just go chime in to something and just be like, hey, I'm here. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, okay, let's go. Sorry. I think it's the Gemini in me. I don't know.
But it was, so if you listen to the episode, you're going to hear me starting off with the guest first. And then all of a sudden you're going to hear Drea with the question and you're going to be like, when the fuck did she join?
Where the fuck was that chick? Yeah, she was out coming in late. All right. So tons of information in this. Don't forget, if you guys want to book private appointments, Gemini211.com. Roxy, what was your website for you?
It was at Hey Hero, which is on my Instagram. So the easiest thing is just hit me up on Instagram, Intuitive Rocks, and that'll be in the show notes too. So
yeah, we'll just add everything. So if you guys have any questions on this episode, you want to reach out to us, send us an email, goodvibestickthigspodcast@gmail.com. That's also in our description. Don't forget to go follow us on Threads, our Instagram, our YouTube.
Yes.
Let's go follow on everything. Give us some numbers. We need some numbers. We need some love. Share this episode with somebody who you think that could utilize it, learn from it, gain some information and knowledge. And again, reach out to us. Tons of love to you guys, tons of light. And we are out this BITCH.
Good vibes, stick that's inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, stick that's inside the minds of psychic mamas. Psychic mamas. Your favorite psychic mama. Psychic mamas. Your favorite psychic mama.